Hello, this is Rod and the developer of the RodMastar application that we're looking at the main menu. And I always like to go over a few other things rather than a main topic. Will be the on-call system that has been revamped is from the message versus the account. And I'll show you. So a call comes in and there's several ways to pick up the call. You can enter the number up here or you can go down to the account directory and go click on the account that you want to go to, which is the main screen where we can edit all the clients. We can choose from several of the clients that are set up to do various delivery modes like texting or emailing, and we can choose to take a message by choosing one of those clients. And let's choose a message for the office. And we get into a new blank message. Once you enter a message and you exit out anyway, you're back ready to start over again. Another way to enter a message is enter into the account. And you add a blank message and choose who you want to take a message for. And there always has to be a message from someone, so I can just say from Tom and enter some part of the message, hello, and phone numbers, or you can even stuff part of a quick message into the system. And we could enter out of the message back to the account screen or back to the main, or do several other things, like we can set that message to be an alarm to alert us some default time, or we could page that message, fax, call the call number first, do a text or a group text, an email or a group email, and then there's some other methods that we have putting message on hold. Most of the time when we take a message, we deliver it and we choose how we want to deliver it. And one way would be just going back to the main. I can show you there's active and old messages. And so delivering the message to old, we're all done with it. Or keep it active, then we could come back and maintain that message somehow. Exiting out to the main menu. Here we have a message on hold. We could set up some alarms. And we have an alarm process to alert you or do certain things. And we can also park the message. And a fourth way to bring in a message is to click on a red button up in the top left-hand corner, which would be a connection to a voice over IP REST connectivity process. Then we would take the next call in from a queue of your incoming calls, the next call, and it be simulated by the same thing as entering into Mastar and a new message. So we're very flexible in how we configure and whether or not your voice over IP provider can create a connectivity to help us on a REST. It's called REST. It's an API. Allows us to toggle and talk back and forth to your voice over IP call for a couple of things. Take in the call and be able to dial out through one of these icons through your voice over IP hosted service provider. So here's this little button over here called OnCall, and we can go to any message and that button OnCall has been added. But before I get into the OnCall, I'm going to go back to the main menu and talk about operators for a moment. Well, something came up that was quite interesting, and so I've added a new option. And over here on the right hand side allows us to attach any operator to an account. And so what if your task service has its own account and your operators are on the account? And so I have a list of here of the account number and that belongs to the operators. So let's go further. Back to the main menu. We used to have an on-call system that when we went into any account, we would have an on-call process button here to handle who's on call for this account masked and only for that account. Well, something came up really interesting and I went, wow, let's add this neat function, and it turned out better than I thought. One doctor takes the on-call for 100 doctors. So now I want to take a message. When a call comes in, and this person's on call, what I want to do is I want to take a message for Chico, for instance. And stuff something in there to fill a message up. And I want to go into the on-call process. Well, what this window here is twofold. We can set on-call a list of which we've added one person to send this message to Fred, okay, in account 228, not MAS, this account. And we could essentially send this message to Fred, text, or group, or his email, like that, and get back to take another message. So if I'm in any message, and I'll go into an account this way, this system allows us to do a neat thing, is take a message and send it to our operators, send it to our own person on call for the account that we're in, or send it to an outside account. And that's pretty neat. And then that outside account, one of 100 doctors, wants to get a report back of the on-call they took for another account. And so I have an option to do that. In the admin section, or in active messages, I have this option here to put me into the same field of all the message that we have taken. Here's Chico, the last message we test. And if we roll over a little bit further, expanding this application, this was sent to account 228. This happens to be that client, Fred's, and we text it to him. And I'm going to add Fred in here to make it even simpler. There's a lot of things this thing does. First of all, it gives a different way of seeing everything by account or everything by time default. Then we can go in here and set up an account and an ID of that client we're talking about. If we want to just get only the account and not regard who took it on call, we could eliminate this option. Set up a date. And let's say 18th. To the 20th. And show all accounts. I've got 3 messages that were sent to 228. 2 were text, 1 was emailed on these particular times. And this is something that says something about the message. And with that said, that is a report that would be sent to 228 through the process of printing that report that you can see. Always choose the records we're being browsed, which is just the 3, and choose an OK. We'll put a PDF file on your desktop right now. And for the moment, you deal with that by emailing it to your client. Now we have an option to email messages to our client. And one of it would be that that message is in the right place. And if we just go out there and take a message to that client saying that we did something, and this client's not set up completely, but we have an option down here that's not turned on right, is to send caller email message with an attachment, even without a message. Okay, and I, through all my configurations to make this program do so much and not confuse you with so much, that I add things to your options as you learn the program. So operators don't have to know much but to take a new message, enter something in the message, and deliver it somehow. In this case, this message is an office message. We can hold it. But if we change it to Rod, you can see that Rod's, as a client, is set up with all these different options that are enabled. The green ones: paging is not, faxing is not, call first is not, on hold is not, and my control 1 by that particular client is just a control 1 to deliver, and that's a default that we would normally send our client. And we can always find it, come back to any message, or we can manually decide on our own whether we want to text or email, which is key to be predominant. So looking at the message, we can always go into from any message and on the on-call process, and let me clear all and go back into the process. And up here in the blue, I don't even have to deal with unless I want to deal with other accounts. So being in this account I can put somebody on hold, just put 228 on hold again, and choose the person that we want to put on hold, which is Fred. And then we can stuff him down into the on-call list with a 1, 2, 3, and it's all the same. The only difference 1, 2, 3 is one's green, orange, and yellow. We kind of priority code them to make it easier to stand out. And stuffing that one puts that one, I can stuff somebody else in 228, and we'll put Jack and stuff him as second up. And you can see how that other all colors, we'll put them third up just for fun, 2 Jacks. And we can clear them individually, clear them all. And we can also add somebody from another account. Now, those are all the accounts in the system that I have set up. And other than 228, I can add on call. And by doing that, all I have to do is change this or to a yes and set these others on call. You didn't see anything happen except we got another Jack. And we can delete Jack really easy because they're all the same. That's simple. Okay. And if we look at something else I want to show you, is that number 1, we can click and go to this account to see the main screen. We can also click on alternate views, and what we see is all the accounts, the ones I told you, the 100, and who we're going to be on call for those hundreds, and all those calls all come in, who's up and who's not, and what account is going to take the on-call process, and we can massage that as we go. Now we all have to figure a way of how to update this instantaneously. Well, first of all, I wouldn't do it from here. I would click this all view again, and what we have here is a real-time online scheduler. Just happen to be showing you my website. And we have also that what you see is what you get, that you can change colors and styles on and cut and paste into and get into really easily. And you can temporarily save it there because that drops you out. What I want to say is that when you go into the on-call, these are on-call people, and you can easily get rid of somebody on call and set somebody on call and stuff that person in first place. That's how easy it is. Now, I'm going to Looking for suggestions. Can we make this any simpler for you? So this is the whole on-call process. We can simply send any message to any operator or to any account or other accounts. On-call. Now, you saw what we had to offer you, and I think that just about explains what I wanted to show you on this particular message.